So, for the last 3 weeks of school, what you are going to be working on is Razor Pages. And we're doing this instead of .NET MAUI. Both of the frameworks use .NET, but there is an issue with .NET MAUI not running on campus. The security is blocking it, so it does not work. And so there are some of the Mac users that would have had to come to campus to use it, and they would not be able to complete those exercises. So we will be covering a mobile framework in the fall in the 255 class. And so instead of doing Razor Pages in that class, we are now doing it in this class. So you're going to be creating a full stack web app. And what you're going to be learning about in this class with Razor Pages will actually transfer over into the 218 class. But the 218 class is going to be much more complicated because we are using the MVC architecture. But I think you will find what we're covering now will help you in that class. So Razor Pages do implement a form of model view model, which is also what .NET MAUI uses. So basically we have two-way data binding. And in Razor Pages, that just means that the forms that we use to fill in data are connected directly to our classes, and our classes are used to create our database tables. So there's a strong connection between the form and the database. To give you an idea of how Razor Pages work and how to create your own page, we are going to complete 2 tutorials. The first one, the Razor Pages movie app, we're going to do the whole entire tutorial. The second one, we are only going to do a portion of it because that tutorial gets into some really complex code, and that level of complexity we are not going to learn until we get into the 218 course. So we'll do the beginning of the Contasso University application. Then you're going to do your own Razor Pages app. And then you're going to do a little showcase where you're going to demo it and share that demo with your peers. The reading assignment is super short, and it just involves reading about what the model view model framework is all about. Very, very short reading. And then most of your time is going to be spent completing the apps. So here is the Razor Page movie app. And for each section in the tutorial, I have a video that actually explains everything so that you understand how this framework connects all the dots, so to speak. Here is the tutorial. If you are using a Mac, instead of .NET 8, I think the highest you can do is 7, which is fine. You just change it to 7 and go through that. If you're a PC user, you'll use .NET 8. And then these are the different sections that you will be completing, and they correspond to the videos. Okay, and then you will do one additional video that shows you how to add pictures and adjust the styling in your application. And so you're going to want to watch that so you know how to actually make your app look better. So you'll be walking through all of those. And then once you finish that, what you're going to be submitting to me is a little video that just shows that the app works. So you're going to have to, add a movie, edit a movie, delete a movie, and show me that those functions work. submit the little video, and also a link to your Razor Page app in GitHub. And if you have any problems putting it in GitHub, which you shouldn't because it's the same procedures we've been using, but if you have any issues, then you can simply zip the app and submit it that way. And then for Contasso University, we are not going to do the entire tutorial. So it's really important that you kind of read through this information. Here's a link to the tutorial. And so getting started is probably the longest video. Then there is the second video, and that is the majority of the app. In this create, read, update, and delete section, there are a couple of changes you're going to have to make to the code so that it works. In that section, they have code for a view model. Do not do that because that will actually mess up your app. And then at the very end of this section, they had us add a secret property to the student model. And you're just going to comment that out because we're not going to be using it. Okay. And then the rest of these videos are fairly short. We're going to add a sort feature to one of our pages. It's going to be the student index page. And so this not only shows you how to add the code, but it explains what the code is doing. Then you're going to add the ability to filter, and you can see that's pretty short. Then we're going to do migrations, which are the same as what we did in the movie app. And then there are some additional changes that I'm going to have you make. We're going to create all of the pages for the course model. So we're going to scaffold them. So that actually is fairly quick. That will not take long at all. In fact, I'll add the time. It was just a couple minutes. You're going to modify the landing page, and I'm actually giving you some code for that. What you're going to have to do is find 3 images, okay, and create the images folder. And then you're going to finish up by adding some styling, making a couple little changes to the layout, and adding some data annotations. Okay, and as you can see, this is not going to take very long either. So when you're done, you do need to put it on GitHub, and then you are going to do a little video demo showing me that it works. Okay, and so I want to see your student page. I want to see you add, change and delete a student. And you don't have to do the same with courses unless you want to. Okay, so that is what you're going to be uploading here, along with the link to your GitHub repository. And again, if for some reason you have a problem on GitHub, just submit a zipped file. And then you are going to be doing your own project. And so these are the directions. All of this, you know how to do because it's basically what we did in the tutorials. And so I do have a video of an example, a completed example for you, and you can actually see the code here. You could download it if you wanted to. Okay, but that's just an example that has all the requirements in it. Then what you're going to do is just add a link to your GitHub repository here. You're going to do a video demo that you're going to put in here. And I have an example of my professional development tracker. So you will need to do something similar. And basically, you're just showing the app. You're going to show how to add change and delete the data in the app. And that is what my video shows. So you're going to do the same thing. And then within the next week, you need to review at least 3 projects of your peers and indicate what you liked best and any suggestions that you have for improvements. So that is pretty much what you have to do for the rest of the semester. I know some of you will be interested in deploying the app, so I did include these instructions, but you do not have to do that. In fact, if you deploy it, you may end up having to, you may run into problems in the fall, because the site that we use it lets you have 2 months free. It's myasp.net. But after those 2 months, you can't use it anymore. And so I would prefer that you keep the free 2 months for the 218 and the 255 classes, because you have to deploy in those. Okay. But for those of you that are interested in like purchasing an account, you can actually get a domain and the server space for about $100 a year, which is a really good deal. Okay. So anyway, I did want to include those just so that you, had the option, or if you're curious, you can kind of look through here. And what you really need to do is come down to this using web deploy section. In fact, I'll probably get rid of the section above it, because this is, the section that basically shows you how to connect your app to the server. And, you don't have to do this. It's optional. And I will be covering this in the fall because you have to deploy then. Okay. As far as extra credit goes, there is an industry night out on the 17th. And if you go, you can submit a summary here for extra credit. We do have the final exam. That will not be open until the 22nd, but it'll be open for almost 2 weeks. And you can take it an unlimited number of times. It is open book, open note. So if you have any questions or you run into problems, please let me know. I am here to help you. And I hope you enjoy learning this. It is really cool when they work, and a lot of the code is scaffolded, so it's not going to take you as long as you think to get these done.